The fourth and last data economy female success story is a true story told to us by Nazia Hasan. We all know her as the experienced queen bee of APIs and other interfaces. Nazia is currently working in a data exchange company where she is the head of design with focus areas on developer experience and interface designing. She also leads some client-specific projects where she primarily acts as a bridge between the business stakeholders and the internal development team. In addition to this, she's also interested in low-code and no-code platform with which utilization of harmonized data can be demoed easily based on real-life use cases in Lighthouse customers. So go ahead, Nazia.
Instead of doing kind of like this traditional presentation to like have a few slides, so I decided that it might be something interesting and a little bit new experiment to like go through things which are live, like my LinkedIn profile, my learning platform, my portfolio, everything. So this is kind of like our story about how we actually end up in working in a data economy as per our work responsibility, as per our area expertise, and while retaining our core professional interest and everything, and which is user experience. So before going to the current situation, what it is, so this is kind of like my timeline of education. I did my bachelor degree in computer science and engineering from University of Dhaka, Bangladesh, and there my main major was on internet and then passive network analysis, like how you measure usage of network uh, offline. So that's kind of like knowingly, and that time there was like no mention of data economy or anything, but we did something like a project to know that how much busy it might get in peak hour or off peak hour if we try to measure offline data packets and everything, and then project analysis about that. Later on I started my working life when I was in Bangladesh, and it was right after our my bachelor degrees. And interestingly, my working started as a software quality assurance engineer. If I actually go, that's something weird. So yeah, all foreign experiences. So yeah, there it is, my very first ever job over here. So as a software quality assurance engineer, my 80% or 70% of the responsibility was doing a lot of testing and testing automation, executing different test cases, cross-platform testing. But other than that, a bigger part was also to do requirement analysis of existing product where new features are being added, or even working with teams which are actually making some new products according to our parent company's recommendation. And that was also interesting that our company, we were working as an offshore development company in Copenhagen, and in Copenhagen, that there where our main headquarters was. So as part of requirement analysis and then going through all the testing thing, I got my interest in understanding users' pain points, or when they are actually struggling hard to work with some products, or how their experience can be when they are before, during, or after usage of a product. It doesn't matter if this is like a piece of software service or even a single iPhone. So from that interest, I came to learn about user experience, which was back in that time, I think it was 2013, a relatively really new field. So so I was also having a plan that was kind of like my mom's pushover, that you should do a master's thesis, like everyone in the family has already done so. And the very possibility was I'm doing something in my computer science field, because that would be the natural instinct to go. But I didn't choose it. I chose like a bit diverted area application, which is user experience, which is not necessarily associated with a lot of programming or computing related stuff, but still, again, it can be related with software development, where you have a really bigger part in mentioning like how user experience or customer satisfaction can be part when you are developing a product from requirement analysis to release it for mass usage. And so from that reasoning, and still it was a new field, I decided that I want to pursue my master's in that field, and hence I turned up into Tampere University of Technology. And our program was something like it that back at that time, it was not the United three universities, but it was the Polytechnic one, the technical one, and the normal university was separate. But we actually had courses from both university, which is Tampere Polytechnic Technical University, and then the normal Tampere University. So from there, we got to learn like interesting topics, which was totally new to me, about user experience, human-centered design, and then user research, and a lot of things. And which some of which are traditionally associated with more theory, but we did have good projects over for our course works. But then again, some of them were closely associated with what currently I do as part of my work, as for example, designing UI libraries or designing interfaces, either mobile or desktop or something. So all those things came, and then it came to do a master thesis to finally submit it. And then I actually met Yarko, because I actually did his he was then working in the education ministry, and we did a project called Report Dashboard as part of my thesis, and it was merely about trying to monitor how software development or digital service development under government agencies are being monitored. So kind of like a dashboard thing. So dashboard or designing of it has been like a really big part of my professional life, even now in that cases. Doing that thesis under the company. So I got the summer job, and I started as a UX designer over there. And it was back at then Sample Software OY, and then their sister company up in OY. So there I came to learn about one of my major interest area, which are like APIs or application program interfaces. So mainly I was working on designing features of a API management platform. But then again, there were like provisions where I had to design interfaces or services which are like really of different fields or areas, as for example, um, processing biomass material, whole system like that, and then designing a mobile app to have secured storage for bicycles, etc. So there the experience of working was really diversified, but that was the place where learning about APIs and then how they work, those came into my life. On the beginning of 2019, I actually entered into Finland's uh, that's työvoimakoulutus. So maybe in English that is workforce training, and that part of training I joined into developers training thing, that coding and related things about it. And then in part of the training was that you would work as part of a company, do integrate with their team and then work, and also do your training steps whenever it is needed. So in that way, I came to my current company, Platform of Trust. So I joined there as a DX developer. Uh, the role was kind of like a bit mix of new things, that my focus area of audience will be core developers, and who are actually willing to make software or services which are related to measuring conditions in built environment and other stuff. Built environment means like maybe residential places where there are sensors, and then you get to get carbon dioxide or temperature or humidity data from there, and you kind of try to standardize and harmonize those data which are coming from different sensors which might have different configuration, and the data model might be different, and try to unify them into a single structure so that it can be interoperable. You can use this data to do different type of visualizations. So my part in our company was that when people want to onboard to our platform, which do the standardization and harmonization, they have a good flow state experience, that they get necessary guides, they get necessary API documentation, they get necessary code snippets, they get necessary instant call to see how the API is working. So there, my field got a bit diversified, that I have a different set of like really different audience or who are developers. So from 2019's July, I got the permanent position, and from there, my work responsibilities started to change. I uh, Developer experience was a really big part of my responsibilities, but gradually I started to work more on product development and project management. I also like developed. I also took charge of two of the product development pipelines of our company. One was the data dashboard, and one was the data marketplace. So the data dashboard was the user interface where normal users, they may be like in the mix of business and both technical, they get to like try out the platform functionalities and features without being worried about the internal API complexities. So you can interact with the APIs and then try to create data product, which is like one of our core things where we are trying to productize data, and then you can use it to visualize the data flow, and then use the same data product to like actually integrate it with Power BI to make different analysis. So this was like one of the services. I was designing the data dashboard, and the other one was data marketplace. The data marketplace was most about doing things which are like when you have a data product, you associate a pricing with that, and then you are allowing people to actually buy your data and give them access. So it was kind of like how to say that, like the front version of platform where you actually get to meet the consumer, the buyer, and the seller, and then you actually define and you actually launch the network effect or the platform effect, or a marketplace related to data products in there. So this is for doing this thing, or to understand how the data platform would actually work in a marketplace setting. I had to study like books about data economy, and then courses in some of the platforms, as for example, I have now signed out from Osango, but Osango had like a really good um, course on data economy. So if I actually go to my LinkedIn, maybe yes. So this is the credential I can show. And then there was also some books about data economy and how platform economy are related with this thing. And also, as Yarko is also doing his second PhD doctoral thesis, so he has been blogging quite a lot time about data economy, and also is um, introducing or promoting his current data economics success stories. So part of those things, I got to read like a lot of contents, and then have those ideas about when it was coming to design the data marketplace platform and everything. So these are the way like data economies theory helped me to work more on the technical side of the works I am doing now, in that sense. And there was also some other things like as data economy has been like a relatively new part, but then again it was also my own professional interest or the core profession I am, which is a UX designer. So part of that I also took like different courses from there and their certification. So if you can see that I have been regularly doing things, and this is kind of like a regular hobby for me, that to take courses from Interaction Design Foundation and to then to take courses from Udemy. Udemy helped me in a sense that I actually had two courses from there. One was at the beginning, which was REST API design and development, and this was part of my DX developer work. I needed to learn about how REST APIs are actually designed. And one part of our company is that we really give emphasis on design first API development, that based on the business requirement of any product or the company goals, you actually design the way an API should be working. You validate those design choices and the calls, like and the methods, everything with the developers and the business stakeholders. And right after that, everything has been agreed upon and accepted. You actually start to do the actual development, which actually reduces development cost, and you don't code unnecessarily. You know what your API should do. You have all the cases, you know all the unit tests to execute. So you are in a good hand to know that, okay, the API should work like this. And we don't need to worry about if we are building the right product or if we are building the product right. So two QA questions in there. And another one was what's the thing? Yeah, the complete no code developer course. As Yarko already mentioned that my this is like my one of my interest areas where I try to do a little bit of experiments. So this is something I started to work with as part of my work. That whenever we are generating harmonized data, you have the data over there, but how you can actually use it. You can use it in Power BI to make different visualizations and to produce some use cases to your customer. But then again, you can use the similar thing to actually make very quick to prototype and quick to build applications just by integrating your core APIs with those platforms. And then you can do some little bit tweaking to like present like a user interface, as for example mobile app, to show some actions, as for example maybe a mobile app to show what has been the consumption rate of common area space in a student apartment complex. So these kind of things can be done with low code no code network. And I also gave like a keynote speech in this year's Apides Helsinki and North 2022 on this subject, to talk about low code no code network platforming, how they can be actually used to do customer demos and everything. And there has been also some like discussions about how much how to say that, maybe ethical they are. But then again, the technology that you present is always like a gift. It's upon the people that how they would use it. That depends on how the technology is being used. That the ethicalness actually comes from people's intention and the way they want to work it. I think we have like 9 more minutes, so I will try to wrap it up a little bit more. So, couple of things if I want to say about my journey over here. It's really important to stay true to your core interest, to your core expertise, and then you can actually try to like explore different fields or the new fields you are in, and how you can actually merge your expertise with the new skill sets that you gain from your new area. And this is actually, how to say that, applicable for any application domain area you want to work for there. And try to do something always unique or exciting. It might fail royally, but you won't have the regret that you did not try it out. Like today, I had a lot of things to show via without an PDF, without a PDF presentation or PPT presentation, just to go over there. And maybe I was talking more, but I did some of the tab switching and something to show what I've been doing so far. So this has been like a good experience for me, that I can present about myself and my work via my LinkedIn, or like moving into different tabs in a internet browser. Based on your portfolio, it's really important that you actually have a good website or portfolio of your own. Based on your coding skill, you can code it on your own. This is something very earlier I did on my own to try out my coding skills, where I have listed my portfolios of the UX works I have done, the skills I have done, and my experience. But this actually really helps to showcase that what you can actually achieve. And if you don't have like coding experience and want to focus more on content, there are platforms like Behance, then UXfolio, then Weeks, a lot of things to have your own website over there. And and last but not the least, I can't put more emphasis than do continuous learning. Do continuous learning in your own profession, as for my example, user experience, but also try to explore the courses that is related to your work, which is I am always trying to find out courses in Udemy about data economy, platform experience, and then low code, no code. So this is something I would really recommend everyone to do the continuous learning in order to go in forward. And last but not the least, empathize with yourself, empathize with the people you are working around, and empathize with the end user whom you are obliged to serve with your product and service. Empathy is a really strong thing that actually helps you to go to a problem really deeper, try to understand it from the end user's perspective, and then try to bring out innovative solutions that gonna solve a lot of things. So yeah, that's the thing I can say it from myself. So I guess we are 5 minutes more, so I'm giving the floor to Yarko.
Okay,
And
thank you.
if there is some
Yeah,
questions.
thank you for the story, and it worked quite nicely to go through how you ended up where you are now. So that's
Thank you.
exactly what people probably also want to hear. And that the
Mhm.
point is that we have now different kind of paths for different kind of people. So and
Yeah.
that it's important to give everyone an idea that everyone's path is unique. So
Yes.
there isn't a silver bullet or anything like that. It's always unique.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. So any comments or any questions from Esra, Gunta, Henna, possibly? And if
I
you're
can't actually
yeah.
go to the Zoom one, because then it would be all our faces.
Yeah. So if you are not bold enough to make it in speech, then write your comment or question also. That's an option as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation, Nazia. I have had the pleasure to work with Nazia and also be friends, so take her suggestions. And yes, thank you. It was really great to follow. To also refresh to me that what have you done in the past. So
Yeah. I actually took some inspiration from you that you said that you were supposed to study chemical engineering, but then again, the path totally changed over there. And then I thought that
Yes.
my experience is also kind of like that. So from computer science to like very, very different, but somehow related field. So,
Mm.
and I'm really glad that we have worked as a colleague, and now we are really close friends, like family. See, this
Sure.
is what empathy does.
Yeah, 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 yeah.